I want to thank you. I'm not going to spend a lot of time introducing Ms. Gayheart. You all know them. They've done a marvelous job over the years of preserving and protecting and defending our history and our music. I'm not going to spend a lot of time. You didn't come here to hear me talk. So, Ricky, Ms. Gayheart, if you all have it.
Okay. All right. Thank you, Gino. We have you'll find out that you'll wonder today at the end of the if Willard can talk, because when I'm around he doesn't get to very much, but he can. And we should point out that Willard is as well known as an artist as he is a musician, and I'm confident that many of you have his art on your walls, and if you don't, you've seen it in local restaurants and occasionally in museums and so on. And Willard, they just finished up, so it's not much point to tell you, but he and his son-in-law play every week at the Blue Ridge Music Center, and I expect they'll be back there next spring. And
hopefully.
Yeah. Today's program is basically the same as the one we did at the Wilderness Road Museum in New Bern back in July, and I've been doing programs for them for several years, and in connection with an annual event they have that has to do with the fact that it's the Wilderness Road Museum. So they were interested in a program that had to do with travel, and people traveling out west to settle, and many of whom came through the New River Valley, because that's where the Wilderness Road went. So many of the people who settled not in Appalachia, the mountains, came through here on their way to the west. So I tried to put together a program for them that had to do with travel, and also incorporated songs that I like to do. So this year I asked Willard to help me out, because I knew they'd like to hear him, and so we put together a program that does have a few songs that literally have to do with travel, that is going somewhere. But it's pretty easy to think about travel as a metaphor too, because a journey is a good metaphor for birth and for your life, and for at the end of life another journey. And so it's easy to find songs that have something to do with going through some event. Even in your work, if you complete an apprenticeship, you become a journeyman at the end of that apprenticeship. So there's lots of ways to look at journeys. And so we have 4 different categories today, and the first one will have to do with songs that themselves traveled, or a style of singing that traveled from the old world to the new. So we're going to do a couple of ballads that are not European, not Scottish or English ballads, but are based on them and sort of mimic that, or not mimic, but borrow, I guess, from that ballad tradition, which did come to this country and has continued, but it's sort of been relegated to historical, anthropological interests, I guess, as much as musical. And then we'll do some songs that are about actual journeys, long and short journeys. And then the second half will be about songs about life as a journey, and traveling in your memory and imagination. There are many songs in traditional music that are about nostalgia, about people wishing that they could go back and be in places from their childhood, or be with people from their childhoods. And then we'll close with a few songs about the journey at the end of life, and the many songs that are performed and enjoyed every Sunday here about that. As my Uncle Jet used to say, the appointment we all have to keep. And so we'll get started. It's my fault that we were late getting here. I told Willard, we'll just drive by, and if there's nobody there, we'll keep going. But we're delighted to see such a sizable group of people. It looks like everybody's got a comfortable seat, but it's not any big empty spaces either, so it's perfect. So we'll start off with a song that's called "Naomi Wise," and it's a murder ballad, and that's by no means our theme today, but it's a good choice because it's very much follows a pattern established in England with the very earliest ballads. It tells a story. It does not have a chorus. It's just every verse and multiple verses add to that story, and that's a characteristic of the old ballads. And I've got to be careful not to turn this into a lecture, but there are basically two types of folk songs: the ballads that tell a story, and then lyrical songs that may tell a story, but their main idea is to express an emotion of some kind. So this first one is a ballad, and it's very similar to European ballads, but it is written in and set in North Carolina. It's a true story about a murder that took place in 1807, I think, in North Carolina. So I'm going to sing that for you first, and then Willard's going to sing a ballad from the United States. It's in that minor key, and you know what's going to happen as soon as you hear the first. It's not going to be a happy ending. That song. If you got a birthday coming up, if someone comes in and says, "Happy birthday," don't open the present. Okay, so we'll try that, and it's going to lighten up. We're starting off with the darkest thing, and then the thing will lighten up. Come listen to my story about old me wife, and how she was deluded by John Lewis's wife. He promised to meet her at Adam's spring. He promised her money and other fine things. So fool-like she met him at Adam's spring. He brought her no money, no other fine thing. Come with me, Naomi, and away we will go. We'll go and get married, and no one will know. She climbed up behind him, and away they did go. But off to the river where the deep waters flow. John Lewis, will you tell me your mind? My mind is to marry, pardon me. My mind is to, I forgot the words, what is it? I remember now, I'm sorry. I apologize, it doesn't happen very often. Sort of takes the tone away from the thing. John Lewis, will you tell me your mind? My mind is to drown you and leave you behind. Have mercy on my baby, oh spare me my life. I'll go away a beggar, and I'll never be your wife. He kissed her and he hugged her and he turned her around. He pushed her in deep water where he knew that she would drown. It was on a Thursday morning, the rain was pouring down. People searched for Romy, but she could not be found. Two little boys went fishing on one sunny summer day. They saw little Romy's body go floating away. They threw a net around her and they drew her to the bank. Her clothes all wet and muddy, they laid her on a plank. They sent for John Lewis and brought him to that place. Out before him where he could see her face. Go hang me, go kill me, for I am the man that murdered little Omi below the mill dam. So that's a good example of a ballad, a traditional ballad, and there are many of them that are not so dark, but ballads do tend to be about things that are sensational or very dramatic, about tragic romances or criminals often. You know, there are many ballads about people that you just love to hear about them, but you really wouldn't want to see them at a family reunion or something like that. People that are fascinating in their way, but not somebody you'd want to work with and so on. So Willard's going to do one for you then that's set in the United States, and I'll see if he may want to say something else about it.
Excuse me, one of the first songs I ever heard, I think, was this song right here. I went to a little school in eastern Kentucky, and back in the 30s. So
The 1930s.
yeah, yeah. But anyway, Simon Kelly brought a guitar to school one day and sung this song. That's the first time I ever heard anyone perform with a guitar, I think. And that's probably what destroyed me right then.
Let's see, I better get in the right key, E. All right.
But
Ready? Yeah.
to walk a little way. And as we walked along, we talked all about our wedding day. Only say that you'll be mine, and oh, how will you be down beside where the waters flow on the banks of the Ohio. I took her by her lily white hand, dragged her down that bank of sand. There I threw her infant round. I watched her as she floated down. Only say that you'll be mine. In our home we'll happy be, down beside where the waters flow on the banks of the Ohio. Turning home between 12 and 1, thinking of what a deed I'd done. I killed a girl I loved, you see, because she would not marry me. Only say that you'll be mine. In our home we'll happy be, down beside where the waters flow on the banks of the Ohio. Very next day, about 4:30, the sheriff's man knocked at my door. He said, "Young man, come now and go down to the banks of the Ohio. Only say that you'll be mine. In our home we'll happy be, down beside where the waters flow on the banks of the Ohio."
I bet Simon Kelly didn't do us any better than that. That's good. Thank you. Very good. Okay, so that's a couple of songs, both ballads. The one, as you figured out, has much more detail in it, and the old ballads tend to be very long because they didn't have to fit commercials in the show, I guess. And then the songs got shorter as attention spans did, I guess. And so then you put in just the basic elements of an event like that. So now we're going to move on to songs that are having to do, that didn't cross the ocean, or the genre didn't cross the ocean necessarily, and do a few songs that actually do have to do with motion, a journey of some kind. And the first one we're going to do is a song that we don't normally do together, so we haven't really worked up a duet too much on it, but it's called Going to the West, and it's in F.
Okay.
And it's a really great song. It's probably the most of the songs we're doing, the most in keeping with the theme that they were addressing at the Wilderness Road Museum, because people who passed by that museum were literally going to the west as they knew it at that time. It might have been just southwest Virginia. It might have just been Honeacre or somewhere up in Russell County, but they were traveling west with the intention of settling and making a new home, and maybe coming back again, maybe never returning. So this song is about a man who is going to the west, but his wife doesn't want to go. She's happy where she is, and she refuses to go, but he decides that he's going anyway. So I'll sing for you, Going to the West. I don't know who wrote it. I heard it on an album by a band that I bet, Jimmy, you know, Troublesome Creek from eastern Kentucky. So we'll sing Going to the West, and that's in F. Let's see if I can remember the words. In this fair land I'll stay no more, where all labor is in vain. I'll leave the mountains of my birth and seek the fertile plain. I'm going to the west. You say you will not go with me. You turn your eyes away. You say you will not follow me, no matter what I say. I'm going to the west. The years have passed since we first met, and you became my bride. Now I must journey far away without you by my side. I'm going to the west. You say you will not go with me. You turn your eyes away. You say you will not follow me, no matter what I say. I'm going to the west. I'll leave you here in this land you love. It seems so bright and fair, where fragrant flowers bloom and music fills the air. I'm going to the west. You say you will not go with me. You turn your eyes away. You say you will not follow me, no matter what I say. I'm going. Yes, I'm going to the west. I'm curious to know if anyone here has heard that song before. Is that familiar to any of you? You have. I'll have to tell you this story. I did a program in Sparta or Mount Airy, somewhere down in just down the mountain in North Carolina. At a retirement home, and I sang, a 3 Nights Drunk, that old silly ballad, and they seemed to like it pretty well, and so I said, have any of you all ever heard that song before? And this lady in the back, she raised her hand. I said, well, where have you heard that before? She said, you just sang it to us. So I should learn to quit taking surveys. I mean, So anyway, now Willard is going to sing a song that I had never heard until I started singing with Willard, and he may tell you something about this.
Well, this is Delmore Brothers' song. It's one of their. They did a lot of train songs. That's what we're going to do, isn't it?
Eastbound Freight Train.
Okay,
It is now. Yeah.
And that's where it came from. Of course, they were big back in the 30s and 40s and 50s even, I think, in Grand Ole Opry maybe, and
What key are
places.
we in?
And I think
We D or
right there in D.
we got D sharp.
Do we have D sharp?
Yeah, let's do that.
Okay.
We might get a surprise if we change the keys here in the middle of the
See how prepared we are right there.
Yeah. We practiced this morning. This afternoon. I think I'm ready.
I never was so lonesome for my hometown. Seems I never was so far away. Now I can hear the freight train a-blowing. I'll be gone before the break of day. I'll have to quit my daily rambling. Tonight I'm gonna start my journey back. Sitting on the top of an old boxcar, sailing down that silvery stream of track. Eastbound freight train, take me home again. Eastbound freight train, let me stay till the end. I'll never stray away from my hometown, never leave again to roam. I know that I was born to wander, but now I'm gonna stay around my home. I'll see the smoke a-rolling out on the old smokestack. I'm sitting on the old boxcar, sailing down that silver stream of track. Eastbound freight train, take me home again. Eastbound freight train, let me stay till the end.
We thought that one fit well there because some of those people who went west didn't like it, and they came back. They got on that eastbound freight train and came back. The next one is this Norman Blake's song, Last Train from Fort Valley? You want to say anything about that?
Well, just Norman Blake.
Yeah.
It's one of the. I think it's one of the really good songs been written, traditional songs, and Norman Blake has written bunches of songs like this, but this is, I think, one of his best ones. It's called "The Last Train from Poor Valley," and Poor Valley is where the Carter family grew up in Hilton's, Virginia, over on the other side of Bristol. I'm not sure if that was written about Poor Valley, but it could have been.
Might be Indian Valley, you think?
Could be where
Indian Valley.
What are we doing this
I think
thing?
we settled on D for that one. We debated that this morning and settled on D.
Seemed like
Yeah, I think it. You tuned down for that one, I believe,
Okay.
if you don't mind doing that.
okay. And we're
D, I believe. No, you're in D. You're just playing an open D, I think.
Okay, all right.
Yeah. There you go.
It was good one time, everything was mighty fine. The gold temples roared day and night. Things they got slow for the reason that I know. The ill winds they blow at the side. The mines all closed down, everybody laid around. There wasn't very much left to do but stand in that line, get your ration script on time. Woman, I could see it killing you. The soft new snows of December lightly fall my cabin round, and the last rain from Poor Valley, picking brown-haired Becky Richmond bound. It's been coming on and on, soon we'll be gone, leaving crossed your mind every day. Then you said to me, things are bad back home, you see. I guess I'd better be on my way. The soft new snows of December lightly fall my cabin round, and the last rain from Poor Valley, picking brown-haired Becky Richmond bound. I should blame you now, but I never could somehow. A miner's wife you weren't good out to be. Well, it wasn't what you thought, some dreams that you bought when you left home and ran away with me. The soft new snows of December lightly fall my cabin round, and the last rain from Poor Valley, picking brown-haired Becky Richmond bound, and the last rain from Poor Valley, picking brown-haired Becky Richmond bound.
Now, I'm going to take a break here and just sit back and enjoy one of Willard's original compositions. It's about a night, I guess it would have been a weekly journey, maybe, Willard, when you were a young man. And there's maybe some people in the audience here who remember having to walk to get where you needed to go, and that's kind of what this is about. So
Okay.
Willard's going to sing that for us.
Well, I grew up right at the end of the Depression, and where I lived in eastern Kentucky is a place called Lots Creek. It was about 10 miles from Hazard, Kentucky, way out in the hills, just isolated from the rest of the world. And when I was a boy, we had to walk everywhere we went. There's very few automobiles, and we had to walk to school, to church, to visit, whatever. And the roads were terrible because there was no need for any great roads because of the lack of cars. A lot of times they had to cross the creek through the creek. But anyway, we learned how to walk a great distance. There was a lot of hazards in the road. Mud holes we had to dodge all the time, foot logs across the creeks, and shortcuts through people's bottoms and all this kind of stuff. And so, as a boy growing up that way, I learned to brave all that stuff. But there were a few unpredictable things along the way. And one of them was going by a neighbor's house, and an old biting dog would run out behind the bush and grab you with a calf of the leg. forgot to change my tune there. Well, down the road from me, about a mile and a half, was a couple of bachelor brothers that lived there. Their names were Ern and Zori Grigsby. And they had a dog like that, and I just dreaded going by their house because you never knew where that dog was going to be. And so a few years ago, I was thinking about that, and I wrote a song called Ern and Zori's Sneaking Biting Dog. Oh, the night was black as pitch when I give my girl a kiss and go whistling up the road back to my place. It was just a mile or two, and the Appalachian dew would be heavy in a mist upon my face. I learned the potholes and the ditches, the shortcuts and the fences. I could even cross old Elk Fork on a log. What I always feared the most, more than old our collar's ghost, was Ern and Zori's sneaking biting dog. I wish they'd tie him up, that dreaded rascal pup, and I'd be happy as a king upon a throne. I'd go walking bravely by with a twinkle in my eye and whistle Mountain Dew on my way home. On the weekend I would go to the moving picture show with my friends across the hill to Carbon Grove. Back through the darkness of the pines after watching Frankenstein, we lost no time in finding our way home. We learned the mud holes and the ditches, the shortcuts and the fences. We could even cross old Elk Fork on a log. What we always feared the most, more than old our collar's ghost, was Ern and Zori's sneaking biting dog. I wish they'd tie him up, that pretty rascal pup, and I'd be happy as a king upon a throne. I'd go walking bravely by with a twinkle in my eye and whistle Mountain Dew on my way home.
Oh, gosh. I'd probably rather ride a wagon to the west than face those dogs, Willard. I'm afraid of a biting dog. We're going to, later on, you'll hear another one of Willard's original songs, and he has many of them. We typically don't do a lot of them because I haven't learned them, and they sort of stand alone. So we'll hear another one of those before we finish up today. Now we've looked at songs that themselves moved, or at least the type of song, from the old world, as we call it, to the new, and then songs like that one that are actually about a journey of some kind, whether across the continent or just across the hill to see your neighbor. And then probably the biggest category, the easiest place for us to find songs for this program were songs about life as a journey. And so we're going to sing a few that have to do with the things that we go through in life, and bad things, broken romances and so on. And also, we got a couple of Carter family songs about attitude that would help you get through those. And I'm guessing that there's some Carter family fans in here. Willard and I are both big fans of the Carter family, and even Willard has, in the last few years, come across Carter family songs he wasn't familiar with. One came to you, I think, from England, maybe, and I think he's going to sing that for us a little bit later. In other words, a man who was from England came to Willard's shop and sang for him, introduced to him a song that Willard liked and had never heard, and he said, "Well, where is that from?" He said, "Well, it's the Carter family." So they had a tremendous influence. So we like their songs, and there are a couple of those coming up. So, but the first one here, Willard will tell you a little bit about this song.
Which one is it?
I guess "Nobody's Darling" is at the top. Would you rather do it first?
Be fine.
Okay.
Jimmy Davis wrote this song, and it's one of the first songs I ever heard in my life back in the 30s. My dad brought a phonograph home when I was about 4 years old. had a bunch of records, and this was probably one of the ones in that group, along with the Carter family, Jimmy Rogers, and a band from North Carolina. I can't remember his name right now. But anyway, why can't I remember that?
I can't remember it either, Willard, so I can't fault you. I don't think I ever knew it, so.
No, it was, my goodness. No.
He's from North Carolina.
The first, we'll have a little quiz right here. It was the first recording this group ever did in 1936.
Maynard? J.E.
Maynard's Mountaineers.
Okay.
J.E. Maynard.
I got a point there.
And it was called Maple on the Hill. That was the first song I ever remember hearing in my life. But in those records, this song was there too. And it's been sung all the way down. Even Merle Haggard recorded this song, so it's been recorded in recent years. But everybody in here will know this song, I think.
Let me get my strap back on my shoulder here, Willard.
Okay.
I feel undressed there. Get that straight.
It's called Nobody's Darling But Mine. Everybody knows this song. If you feel like singing along, well, just jump right in there. We need all the help we can get. Come and sit by my side, little darling. Come lay a cool hand on my brow. Promise me that you will never be nobody's darling but mine. Nobody's darling but mine, love. Be honest, be faithful, be kind. Promise me that you will never be nobody's darling but mine. You're as sweet as the flowers in springtime. You're as pure as the dew on the rose. I'd rather be somebody's darling than a poor boy that nobody knows. Nobody's darling but my love. Be honest, be faithful, be kind. Promise me that you will never be nobody's darling but mine. So goodbye, good luck, and God bless you. I'm leaving this cold world behind. Promise me that you will never be nobody's darling but mine. Nobody's darling but mine, love. Be honest, be faithful, be kind. Promise me that you will never be nobody's darling but mine.
Thank you. Now that song has another verse, but Willard never sings it. It's the rest of the story there about apparently whoever never was her darling or his darling or whatever. But it's just too sad to go into, so we'll skip it. The next one, Willard, you probably know more about that than I do. You want to say a little bit about Hard Times here, the author and so on?
Of course, it's the oldest song we know. It's written by Stephen Foster. Hard Times Will Come Again No More. It's one of the songs that's of Stephen Foster's, who wrote many songs back in the mid-1800s. It's one of the songs that's made it being sung yet today and recorded as well. We can get where I can see it.
All right.
Getting blind in my old age, I think.
Willard is 90 years old. And I count on him to remember everything. I said, Willard, what key is that in? And he always knows. So, all right, that's it. And I forgot to look. What key is that in? D. Yeah.
Anyhow, I'm sure most of you are familiar with Stephen Foster. He wrote the Kentucky state song, My Old Kentucky Home, which I grew up singing, being from Kentucky, and many, many other songs. But
Did he write Lorena?
And I'm not sure about that.
You all know that song, Lorena?
There's an expert right over
Did he
there.
write that song? Well, we better not. You think he did, Jim? Yeah. Oh boy, that's a. I won't say how pretty it is, because then you'll say, "Why don't you sing it?" So we don't. But anyway, this is a good song, I think. So Willard is gonna.
Wow.
Need a drink of water.
Let us pause in life's pleasures and count the many tears, while we all sup sorrow with the poor. There's a song that will linger forever in our ears. Oh, hard times will come again no more. It's a song, a sigh of the weary. Hard times will come again no more. Many days you have lingered around my cabin door. Oh, hard times will come again no more. Though we see mirth and beauty and music bright and gay, they are frail forms awaiting by our door. Though their voices are silent, their pleading seems to say, oh, hard times will come again no more. It's the song, the sigh of the weary. Hard times will come again no more. Many days you have lingered around my cabin door. Oh, hard times will come again no more. It's a sigh that is wafted across the lowly plains. It's a wail that is heard upon the shore. It's a dirge that is murmured across the lonely grave. Oh, hard times will come again no more. It's the song, the sigh of the weary. Hard times will come again no more. Many days you have lingered around my cabin door. Oh, hard times will come again no more. Oh, hard times will come again no more.
Willard, that's good. You did a good job on that. Let's see. You think I ought to tell him a joke, Willard? Willard knows I like to tell. I love to tell a joke. But maybe I'll better not. Okay. let's see. Now we've got a couple of Carter family songs that are kind of uplifting, and there are plenty of Carter family songs that are as sad as they get, and we may work another one of those in. But for now, we're going to do a couple that one is really well known. Keep on the Sunny Side. We're going to do that for you. But first, we're going to do a lesser-known Carter family song, at least in my experience. But it's been a favorite of mine since I heard it at the Carter Fold. I heard, I guess, Jeanette Carter maybe singing. Have any of you been to the Carter Fold? And several people. And were you lucky enough to get to go when Jeanette and Joe Carter were still living? And wasn't that a treat? Willard said he said he liked to go just because to hear them talk. He said because they sounded just like home in eastern Kentucky.
Yeah, just.
And he also liked that Jeanette would tell you just exactly what she thought about whatever, and she'd throw people out if they didn't.
That's just exactly the way people were where I grew up.
Yeah. So I'm going to sing "You've Been a Friend to Me." That's indeed, and I like this song. I sang this song years ago. In the morning, I sang it at a funeral for a dear friend. And then in the afternoon, I got to get myself together here. In the afternoon, I sang it for my mom's oldest sister at her 90th birthday. And it's a song that fits so many occasions. So let me think about something I'm mad about, and I'll get myself together here. That's a trick for you all. If you're in front of people, and you sort of get choked up, think about something that you just mad about it, and you'll get straightened right up and get yourself together. But it's a happy song. It's not a sad song at all. So here we go. You've been a friend to me. Spark of life was drifting down the troubled sea of time. When first I saw your smiling face and you was in its prime, I'll never forget wherever I roam, wherever you may be. If ever I have had a friend, you have been a friend to me. Misfortune used me as a child and held me closely too. I would have had a broken heart had it not been for you. I'll never forget wherever I roam, wherever you may be. If ever I have had a friend, you have been a friend to me. As I now look back along life's path, across life's stormy sea, I smile to think that through it all you have been a friend to me. I'll never forget wherever I roam, wherever you may be. If ever I have had a friend, you have been a friend to me. Yes, if ever I have had a friend, you have been a friend to me. that's just a really good song. You know, it's just a good song, good sentiment in it. And the next one is Two, another Carter family song. Keep on the Sunny Side, and that's in E, I think. Yeah. Yeah. Let's see here. Yeah, Keep on the Sunny Side. And this has been a favorite of mine for since I was a boy. I don't remember when I did the first year of this song. It seems like I always knew it. And my mother sang at our home, and all her sisters sang. And she said when they were growing up, and I bet she probably sang that, and I absorbed it rather than learning it maybe. But it's a great song. Keep on the Sunny Side. And I think we're in the right key here, E. Now, kick us off then. There's a dark and a troubled side of life. There's a bright and sunny side too. Though we meet with the darkness and strife, the sunny side we also may view. Keep on the sunny side, always on the sunny side. Keep on the sunny side of life. It will help us every day, it will brighten all our way, if we'll keep on the sunny side of life. Though the storm in its fury breaks today, crushing hopes that we cherish so dear, clouds and storm will in time pass away, and the sun again will shine bright and clear. Keep on the sunny side, always on the sunny side. Keep on the sunny side of life. It will help us every day, it will brighten all our way, if we'll keep on the sunny side of life. Let us greet with a song of hope each day. Though the moment be cloudy or fair, let us trust in our Savior always, to keep us everyone in His care. Keep on the sunny side, always on the sunny side. Keep on the sunny side of life. It will help us every day, it will brighten all our way, if we'll keep on the sunny side of life. If we'll keep on the sunny side of life. Yeah, that's a good song. That's a good song. And singing those old songs like that, I have sort of learned that if you're singing to an audience who knows those songs, especially from their youth, it doesn't matter especially how well you do it, because they're thinking of someone maybe that they knew long ago singing that same song. So those old songs are good. It's good to keep them alive, and especially when they have a good message like that song. That's a song that's hard to go wrong with that. Okay, now we've got songs about traveling in memory and imagination, that is going to the past. And we'll start this off with another Carter family song, the Green Fields of Virginia. And this is the song that I mentioned that, I'll let Willard tell you that story. It's a very interesting story, but I had never heard the song till Willard sang it, and it's on a little cassette that Willard and one of the many bands he's been with, was it Alternate Roots?
Yes.
Cassette, and we happen to have a car that still has a cassette player in it, and right beside her clay tablet that we make notes on, and so he gave me one of those, and I have just enjoyed that thing so much, and it's got the green fields of Virginia on it, and well, I was going to make, I'll leave the jokes aside. This is a good song, so tell us the story about how you learned this song.
Well, I used to run a store in Gaylax. In fact, the reason I came to Gaylax, Virginia, I was transferred here to run a little department store. But living and working downtown Gaylax, I got to meet all the people that came to the Fiddlers Convention every year. And in 1973, Mike Fenton, who was an auto harp player, well-known now auto harp player, came to Gaylax to the Fiddlers Convention, but he also came to go to the Carter Fold and to the Grand Ole Opry. All those things he had on his journey. And but Carter family was the main place he wanted to go because he'd been a Carter family fan all his life, and that's where the auto harp came in. And he taught me this song, Green Fields of Virginia, and I never heard it. I thought I knew all the Carter family songs, but that's one that had gotten by me, and I actually helped him record it one time. It's on a recording somewhere. I did the harmony part, I think, on Green Fields, Virginia. But we recorded it as a band, the Alternate Roots, a group I used to play with a few years ago.
This old strap is worrying me to death. There it is. All right. I'm too cheap to buy a new strap. This was the one that came with the guitar. And I thought that way about the strings too, you know. Well, they were on there when I got it. I'll just keep them. And Willard kept saying he never would mention it directly, but Friday he just gave me a pack of strings. He said, and he's pretty southern. And I, what can I do with these, Willard? And he said, well, maybe you could put them on your guitar. And you know, it's helped him. I think might get a new strap.
Mid the green fields of Virginia, there's an old mill by the stream. I have to remember it first.
Is it in the book?
No.
Okay.
I'm supposed to remember it.
You're making me feel better.
Mid the green fields of Virginia, in the Vale of Shenandoah, there's an ivy-covered homestead that I love, with its quaint old whitewashed chimney and its simple home like ours is the home of my dear parents now above. There's a peaceful cottage there, our happy home so dear. My heart is longing for them day by day, where I spent life's happy hours in the Vale of Shenandoah, mid the green fields of Virginia far away. Mid the green fields of Virginia stands an old mill by the stream. I once wandered by that spot to sing and play, and how often I would throw a stone into the rippling brook and dream someday 'twould carry me away. There's a peaceful cottage there, our happy home so dear. My heart is longing for them day by day, where I spent life's happy hours in the Vale of Shenandoah, mid the green fields of Virginia far away. Mid the green fields of Virginia far away.
Willard, you forgot the words and I forgot the chords. I like that song because it's got a mill in it.
There you go.
If you know me, you know I like meals. So that song's got a meal in it. All right. Well, I guess I need to say what we're going to do next. Does this song have any supper time? Does that have a story to go with it?
Well,
I enjoy your
it's
story
also
so much.
Jimmy Davis who wrote the other song we did.
Nobody's Darling.
Nobody's Darling wrote this one as well.
Did he also write that really famous "You Are My Sunshine"?
Sunshine.
I heard
You're
someone.
My sunshine. Yeah.
We have with us in a whole everyone here. I'm delighted to see, but someone all the way from West Virginia who did not come to here to see us, but he happens to be in town. Jimmy Costa back there, the fine old time fiddle player and historian, musician, and I don't know if he wants me to tell you or not. He's got the best collection of old tools that I've ever seen. And I went out there with my wife and my brother and his wife, and we looked at them for a while. And my brother's wife said, "These are great." And I said, "They all look alike." And so we had to shorten our trip. And I didn't get to look at as many tools as I'd like. They do all look alike, but they don't look alike to Jimmy, because he can tell you that rivets are different or something like that. It's a wonderful collection. So appreciate you coming by, Jim. It's good.
I got to tell you a good story about Joe and Carter's we were talking about.
Joe and Jeanette Carter. They were the children of A.P. and Sarah Carter, and they were the hosts at the Carter Fold for many, many years.
I had a fellow live near Hinton where I come from, and he became very good friends with Joe and Jeanette, and called me one day and said, "I want to go down and visit her," and he wasn't driving anymore, so it was late afternoon. I said, "I'll take you down." And I had met them. I got to play down there a few times with Jim Lloyd at Gilman's there. So we went to visit her. She was there at the house by herself. And I've been collecting old-timey expressions all my life, and she came up with one I'd never heard in my life, and she talked about this old stingy man that lived up the road when she was a girl, and she said, "He was so stingy, he wouldn't give air to a bug in a jug."
Well, you know what? Some of you all here knew Frank Webb. Frank Webb and I, we did a book together on the mills, and Frank was a, and I don't know why I'm bringing Frank up. Oh yeah, Frank said the first liar don't stand a chance. Yeah. So I got to tell you a little story. My brother, I got 3 brothers, and one of them is a pretty good storyteller. He's full of good expressions, and he was talking about some guy, and he said he is so tight that he will get out of bed to turn over to keep from wearing the sheets out. Yeah. So the first liar don't stand a chance. Okay. All right, so where were we?
Supper time.
Supper time, yeah. And that's in, I'm bad to
Indeed.
chase rabbits. I had a folklore class once, and one of the students, she got up before class, she had drew a picture of a rabbit on the board and a circle and a bar through it. So Mr. Cox quit chasing rabbits. So I didn't quit chasing rabbits. Supper time, yeah, and that's in D. Okay, I'm sorry. Okay.
When I was but a boy in days of childhood, I used to play till evening shadows come. Then winding down an old familiar pathway, I heard my mother call and said, "Her son, come home, it's supper time. The shadows lengthen fast. Come home, it's supper time. We're going home at last." One day beside her bedside I was kneeling, and angel wings were winging through the air. She heard the call for supper time in heaven, and now I know she's waiting for me there. Come home,
supper time. The shadows lengthen fast. Come home, it's supper time. We're going home at last. In visions now I see her standing yonder, and her familiar voice I hear once more. The banquet table's ready up in heaven. It's supper time upon that golden shore. Come home, it's supper time. The shadows lengthen fast. Come home, it's supper time. We're going home at last. Thank you. All right. Now, a big treat for you here. Willard's going to sing another of his original songs, and I'm going to sit back and try to be quiet long enough for him to sing it to us and talk about it. Tell us about it too. It's a salad song. How many people in here have heard the expression pickin' salad? Anybody? Now, this is not talking about a buffet. It's just not the Golden Corral he's talking about. Pickin' salad.
Well, where I grew up, it was a big deal in the spring of the year. The women couldn't wait to get that first mess of salad in the spring. If you don't know what salad is, it's the wild greens that grow out in the fields. There's certain varieties you can mix together. It makes a really good dish, and it was a big deal with those women, especially back in Kentucky. They couldn't wait to get that first mess. It was always special when they were just coming up in the spring, and usually right at the end of March or early April when the plants were young and tender. And you could see the women sometimes down in the fields on a sunny afternoon. A lot of them would have aprons on, and they would cup that apron in one hand and dig up the plants with the other and rush back to the house and wash it for supper. It was a ritual every spring. And a few years ago I was remembering that, and I wrote this song called The Salad Song, just kind of a little memory. So we'll get it here in a minute. The first breath of spring stirs a warm breeze on the hills and valleys of my youth, and the first signs of life lays a green hue amid the meadows on the valley floor. For a time my mind goes back to scenes of my childhood, as ritual as the spring itself, of the women in the lowlands and the old fields picking salad, the preparation for the evening meal. So pick that salad, Mariah, fill your apron once again from that favorite spot down in the bottom that's nestled along the river bend. Oh, the years have gone by, but I've not forgot the memories and the good times of the past. And as each season passes, I'm reminded of the one event that makes that season last. At the first sign of spring, this picture haunts my memory, a bright event that happens every year, of the women in the lowlands and the old fields picking salad in preparation for the evening meal. So pick that salad, Mariah, fill your apron once again, from that favorite spot down in the bottom that's nestled along the river bend.
That's a fine song, Willard. I really like that song. Now we're going to, we got one more nostalgia kind of a song, going back in the memory. And this is another song that you have something interesting to say about. Its origins, and I think the Blue Bonnet Lane. Where did that song come from?
I'm having trouble. I apologize for this, folks. It was first recorded, I think, by Bob Wills and the Texas Playboys. It's a Western swing song. But Jim and Jesse got a hold of it and made a bluegrass song out of it. And so Scott and I do this every day we play at the Music Center, and we have for 16 years now. So
You open with it, I think, maybe.
yeah, that's usually the one we open with. It's just a pretty song. It's called Blue Bonnet Lane, and Ricky and I've learned it. And
Yeah, I like this song. Nights in
and in my lonely heart there lingers a dream that haunts me again, of a girl with eyes like the flowers that grew down in Blue Bonnet Lane. Oh, those sweet and happy hours in my heart, they will always remain, like the sweet fragrance of the flowers that grew down Blue Bonnet Lane. I can see the pale horizon above the blue misty plain, as I walk with my blue-eyed darling in my memory once again. Oh, those sweet and happy hours in my heart, they will always remain, like the sweet fragrance of the flowers that grew down Blue Bonnet Lane, that grew down Blue Bonnet Lane.
All right, let's see. Oh, yeah, we're running a little over. So we've got 3 more songs lined out here to do. And these are songs that we associate with that as I mentioned a while ago, that last journey, that at the end of life. So these are songs fitting for the setting and the day. And we'll start off with Uncloudy Day, which I, like so many songs, thought was new when I heard it on the radio, but it's right there in the Primitive Baptist hymnal, and I suppose in many other hymnals as well. But it's by no means a new song, but it's had some more life breathed into it, I guess, by Willie Nelson and many people have recorded. I don't know much about its recording history. Willard may know more about that. Is it a song that you knew in your youth?
Oh, I've heard it all my life.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's in all of our hymn books.
Okay.
Yep. That's indeed. They tell me of a home far beyond the sky. They tell me of a home far away. They tell me of a home where no storm clouds ride. Oh, they tell me of an unclouded day. Oh, the land of cloudless days. Oh, the land of an unclouded sky. Oh, they tell me of a home where no storm clouds rise. Oh, they tell me of an unclouded day. They tell me that he smiles on his children there. His smile drives their sorrows all away. They tell me that no sorrow ever comes again. In that lovely land of unclouded day. Oh, the land of cloudless day. Oh, the land of an unclouded sky. Oh, they tell me of a home where no storm clouds rise. Oh, they tell me of an uncloudy day. They tell me of a home where my friends have gone. They tell me of a home far away, where the tree of life in eternal sheds its fragrance through the unclouded day. Oh, the land of cloudless day. Oh, the land of an unclouded sky. Oh, they tell me of a home where no storm clouds rise. Oh, they tell me of an unclouded day.
Oh, you did good. Can you get through one more here?
You will, we'll try.
All right. Here's another song that I think I've heard it most of my life, and I'm sure the same for Willard. It's certainly, it's in the Primitive Baptist hymnal, and I expect in most hymnals. I don't know that, but I wouldn't be surprised. So it's called Where the Roses Never Fade. It's a good song. And that's in
D, I think.
Who wrote that there? D, yeah? Yeah, D. You're right, D.
the streets with gold are laid, where the tree of life is blooming and the roses never fade. Here they bloom but for a season, soon their beauty is decayed. I am going to a city where the roses never fade. In this world we have our troubles and very much debate. We'll be free from all temptations where the roses never fade. Here they bloom but for a season, soon their beauty is decayed. I am going to a city where the roses never fade. Loved ones gone to be with Jesus in their robes of white array, now are waiting for my coming, where the roses never fade. Here they bloom but for a season, soon their beauty is decayed. I am going to a city where the roses never fade.
Okay. All right. Thank you. We're going to conclude with a song that you could guess what it would be. Will the Circle Be Unbroken? Is a song about a sad journey, but also a song about hopeful endings to all our journeys. So we'll see if we can do that for you, and we invite and encourage you to sing along with that if you are inclined to do that. What'd you say?
Participate.
Participate. That's the word, ain't it? Yeah. That's, you can get extra credit for participation. Like that. Yes. That's it, right there. I was standing by my window on one cold and cloudy day when I saw that earth come rolling for to carry my mother away. Will the circle be unbroken by and by, Lord, by and by? There's a better home waiting in the sky, Lord, in the sky. Well, I said to the undertaker, undertaker, please drive slow, for this body you are calling, how I hate to see her go. Will the circle be unbroken by and by, Lord, by and by? There's a better home awaiting in the sky, Lord, in the sky. Well, I followed close behind her, tried to hold up and be brave, but I could not hide my sorrow when they laid her in her grave. Will the circle be unbroken by and by, Lord, by and by? There's a better on the way in the sky, Lord, in the sky. I went home, Lord, my home was lonely, since my mother dear was gone. All my brothers and sisters crying, what a home so sad and alone. Will the circle be unbroken by and by, Lord, by and by? There's a better on the way in the sky, Lord, in the sky, in the sky, Lord, in the sky. Well, I guess that concludes our program. We appreciate everybody coming out to see us. Hey, Warren, good to see you. So, oh, he's trick-or-treating. Look here.
Black and white bags.
Yeah.
Just a little something.
Oh,
Thank you all for
Thank you.
coming in.
I want the one without onions. Is that the one?
Connie made it.
Oh, okay. Okay. Thank you. Thank you, Connie, for inviting us, and thank you for hosting us here in this beautiful space, and had a good
Good way to
time.
spend a Sunday afternoon, I think. I suspect like the rest of you, memories to get triggered when you listen to good music and that sort of thing. So that's why we're here. Ms. Gayheart, absolutely wonderful. Ricky, as usual, a blessing to both of you. Y'all, that you made the afternoon for all of us. I will
Thank
tell you that if anybody's interested in hearing it again, or wants to hear any part of it, it'll be on the Floyd United Methodist Church website. We've filmed it in a couple of different ways, so hopefully we'll be able to put this out in a couple of ways if you want to go back and listen to any part of it. So feel free to go on there. You're all invited. We have a program in November the 19th at the Jacksonville Center on Genealogy. Janet and Alice are going to join me with a little panel discussion. It'll be a sort of a basic beginners session, and we're going to get an opportunity then to go down and tour the clerk's office at the courthouse. Rhonda's going to make it available to us for about an hour at noon. She's going to come down and open it up. So we're going to do a little bit of that. Again, Ms. Gayheart, Mr. Cox.
There you go.
I'm
older than you are.
I've never called you that.
And I'm older than you see.
Yeah, well, we sit down on the end of the bench during baseball season for your senior year,
Yeah.
I think, wasn't it?
Well, I was on the team for 3 years, and yeah, that was my senior year. And
So,
yeah.
and we sat down and had a good time, and he was just as bad then as he is now.
I never did learn to chew tobacco. I just couldn't master that.
It wasn't much fun, was it?
No, we couldn't spit like everybody else.
We get yelled at by the coach.
Yeah. Yeah.
But, thank you all for coming. Again, thank you all. That was absolutely wonderful.
Thank you.